Welcome to Whole CEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in weight loss, mindset, and business. Learn our top tips to set you up for success so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, and feel unstoppable. He's the founder and owner of Client Amplify, which is a high-level coaching program that helps influencers and businesses get more leads and clients using LinkedIn, Facebook ads, and various other methods. He's owned his own advertising agency and online business for over 20 years. We're so excited and welcome to the podcast, Eric Louviere.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be here with you. Lisa, it's always nice to talk to you, so this will be a lot of fun.
Oh, well, you're one of my mentors on LinkedIn, so I'm happy to have you here. And I want you to inspire others to be unstoppable through all the ups and downs that we all go through. So why don't we just jump right into the content on how to increase your believability factor to achieve your goals and dreams and be unstoppable?
Yeah, this one's a big one. So any type of dream that you're going to want to achieve, any big goal that you have that you're going to want to achieve, what's going to happen is you're going to run into a lot of challenges, right? You're going to,
Right.
It's inevitable. Anytime you're going to do something new, there's going to be challenges. So one of the things that I realized after coaching people for many years is people would get very motivated and then they would run into some kind of resistance, some kind of personal problem or some kind of setback or obstacle or something, and then they would quit or they would not put in as much vigor as they had before, right? So, as you decide to do something new, you start running into problems. And what I little thing that I learned that's really worked for me and a lot of other people I've taught this to is if you picture what you want to achieve, and it's going to be out in the distance a little bit from where you are now, then how believable, how on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your believability factor that you will achieve that goal? And whatever it is, personal, finances, whatever it is, how on a scale of 1 to 10? So if you're like a 4 or a 5, then that's not real high on your confidence that you're going to achieve that, right? So one of the things to do is to work on increasing the believability factor of hitting that goal. So let's say you decide to increase it from a scale of like 5 to like an 8. Now, if you're at 8, you really, really believe that you're going to get there. You know it that you're going to get there. So when that's the case, then any kind of resistance that you run into, any kind of problem, any kind of challenge, then what will happen is it's just part of the game. It's just part of the process of getting there. It's just part of the journey. It's not going to make you quit and run for the hills. It's going to make you find a way around it, over it, through it, under it, some kind of way to get beyond the problem. So then what happens is you get beyond that first problem, and then the next day you run into a new problem and you get beyond that problem. And then 2 days later, you run into another problem, you get beyond that problem. And that's how we really get to achieve our goal. So if someone came to me and said, hey, Eric, what's your believability factor that you can do a Zoom interview with Lisa? Well, it's a 10, right? It's a 9 or a 10. I've done a million of these, there's no problem. So I believe pretty high that it's going to, but others who've never done it before, maybe like, ooh, I don't know. What if I don't get the technology right, or the sound's not right, or, my hair's not good, or whatever, right? And they run into these adversities before they get there. So one big tip is to increase your believability factor so sky high that any kind of little failure or problem that comes in the way, you just shake it off and just keep on trucking along.
Well,
so that's believability factor.
I mean, that brings up a couple of points for me. I'm wondering if somebody starts out and they're only at a 4 on believability factor, not really using the podcast, for example, but let's say I'm launching a business or something like getting to relationship or something that's like a big life thing. do you think they should set the bar lower and make baby chunks first at one at a time till they get to a believability on the dreaming big and setting the bar high thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a lot to that. One is just the sheer act of deciding to have a higher believability factor increases your believability
Oh,
factor.
okay.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
just me saying, look, I want to start my own business, and so I'm going to increase the believability factor to an 8. Now it just does some kind of little trick in your mind, and then now you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I can make this happen. If I never quit and I really go all in wholeheartedly, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this, of course I can make this work. You sort of get out of your own way. But other things would be like you talked about, getting a mentor or a coach, investing in yourself. One thing that you'll like is, like for myself, is state of mind. So if I wake up and I'm kind of groggy and I don't get ready for the day and I'm just like, what's happening now? What's going on? Then I feel kind of sluggish and not too confident or whatnot. But if I go for a walk or for exercise, or if I meditate or do something, pray or something, then I'm in a different state of mind, right? So what if I did that every day to start my day? Well, then I'm going to be in a higher elevated state. So there's all these different things that we can do. And I really believe that most of it is just investing in ourselves. So if we want to increase our believability factor, increase our state, increase our confidence, increase our, the amount of water that we drink, the food that we eat, the exercise, the health, the relationships that we have. We all have these gifts. So if we use our gifts a lot, then that takes us to a higher believability factor. Things like that. If in a relationship, if I'm looking for a relationship, then maybe I would buy a book on, how to, I don't know, be more confident or carry myself better, or something. So that's a way of investing in myself that might be more attractive to others, to increase my relationships, or learn how to be more compassionate or caring, or, these types of things. So anytime you invest in yourself while you're trying to achieve a goal, you're going to get there. You're going to increase your believability factor. Really, it comes down to, if you want more, you've got to become more, the Jim Rohn quote. So if I want more, or if I want to achieve a goal, then I'm usually going to need to become more internally to get there.
Well, thanks for bringing all that up. I'm so glad that you touched upon so many golden nuggets here. And I always like to try to set my mindset up for success in the morning and at night, because it gets taken out of the game. And I'm so glad that you also brought up confidence, because I know that confidence is a big part of achieving your big goals. So why is developing super confidence, is that the key to achievement?
Yeah, super confidence is a big deal. So, Dan Sullivan, this is what he has. I learned this from him, but he has like his 4 C's, and I believe he goes like, first you make a commitment, right? So you make a really strong, firm commitment of being unstoppable to achieve your goal. And then after you make that commitment, you're going to need courage, right? So really strong courage. And courage is, to me, the most important thing of all to be successful, because plenty of people are smart, so they need brains, and plenty of people are good speakers or writers or skilled and talented, and they don't achieve their goal, right? But the people that are courageous and have a lot of courage and brave, they tend to achieve their goals a lot more because they escape comfort zone. So commitment, and then courage to stick to the commitment you made, right, and do it. And then when you do that, what happens is you start getting new capabilities. So the more times I do Zoom calls, and you do Zoom calls and interviews, then the better we get at it and the more capabilities we have, right? The more capable we are at it. Then what finally comes last is confidence. So people think confidence comes first, but it doesn't. It comes last. So confidence is a luxury that comes later on, after doing the things that requires commitment and courage. Then you get the capabilities and the confidence. So when you look at it from having super confidence, that means you had super courage. Like you pushed yourself to do things that you normally wouldn't do. You did things when you didn't feel like doing it. You made yourself escape comfort zones. You made yourself do things that are fearful, like get on stage and speak in public speaking situation, or get on camera, or do a podcast, or write a book. I mean, any one of a million different things. Like if I decide I'm going to get in great shape and have 6-pack abs, then I pick up the phone and call you, right? That move to call you, way outside my comfort zone or someone else's comfort zone. You know what I mean? But look at the ripple effect that would happen after doing that. And then eventually I'd have confidence. and then I'd have super confidence. Well, if you could strive to get super confident at your goal, then you're going to break through any resistance. You're going to break through any problems, any adversities, any challenges, any personal issues that come up, and you're going to achieve your goal. You're going to be a lot more resilient. So the confidence factor is what I see is a common denominator amongst all the people who achieve their goals, as they get to a point where now they're confident to be consistent. And then it just grows and grows and grows. You get more and more confident the more and more you do something.
Well, thank you for all those great golden nuggets there too, because consistency is key, isn't it? And once you make a decision that you want something and you believe you're going to do it, then it takes those action steps consistently working towards your dream. And that gives you the confidence is that you're dreaming, daring to dream big, and you're taking these action steps of all the scary things that I've decided to do in my life. It's been outside of my comfort zone. All good things I think exist outside of there, like writing a book, being a speaker. Speaking is like death and taxes to a lot of us, and yet we do it anyway. And then we get more confident that we can do it because we did it, right?
That's right. It's like the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. He
Yeah.
talks about the 10,000 hour mark, like the
Yes.
Beatles played and played, and then when they got to 10,000 hours, they exploded. So it wasn't that they were an overnight success, even though they got overnight fame, but they had 10 years worth of being nobodies playing 10,000 hours worth of music before they were, an overnight success. And so what happened was they got so confident and super confident at playing, they could even play 3 different festivals in one day, which is what they did once.
Wow.
Played all day long and night. And so that takes a lot of confidence. So the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. But we hold ourselves back from doing these things because of fears and worries and that little voice in the back of our head that talks us out of being consistent. So all that junk gets in our way. And so what's really truly required to get past all that junk is courage. Courage is really the key to success, because if I want to go buy an office building and I've never bought an office building and it's so way outside my comfort zone, then I could be terrified to do that. But if I've bought like 50 office buildings, then it's no big deal. And I've done it enough that it's like, sign here, it's mine. You know what I mean? So it's a mindset that comes through making ourselves go through the adversities and the resistance and the challenges and the problems and all that. That's courage.
Well, thank you for all those great examples. I love the Beatles and the 10,000 hours, and all the stuff you brought up today is just like amazing, the Jim Rohn. And my last question for you is, how do we bust past the resistance to be unstoppable? Because let's face it, when we're chasing after a hairy big goal, resistance comes up almost on a daily basis, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good way to put the icing on the cake with what we were just talking about is, anytime we decide to do something new, especially that we're not used to doing, we get hit with resistance immediately. Like if you're an influencer, for example, and you're going to decide to start being visible in public, then you're going to do, like videos like this or podcasts or whatever you decide to do, Facebook Lives and stuff like that. As soon as you start to do that, even advertising, as soon as you start to do that, you're like whack-a-mole, that game. So you're sticking your head out of the sand and people are going to start taking whacks at you,
Right.
You're going to get negative comments. If you've ever ran advertising, especially on Facebook, you're just going to get all these comments of people just ripping you. You're just ripping on you, like even personally, like attacking you. Like I saw one where there was a baby and people were attacking the little baby, the little angelic baby. So I'm like, if people will attack a cute little baby, they'll certainly attack me, right? So
I've been attacked
you
plenty
get
of times. Yeah.
Absolutely. Then you start to become. But here's the thing: you bust through the resistance and you just keep going. So you put your armor on, like your football helmet and your armor and your shield, and you got to just plow through the resistance as best you can with all your might, because that's going to come. It's inevitable. You're going to get resistance from the public, haters, naysayers, friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, coaches. Internally, your own voice, just yapping at you.
This doesn't work. That's not going to work. Yeah.
No. Yep.
I love it.
Inside your own head. So you got to bust through all that junk, and you put the armor on. You're resilient, you're thick-skinned, and you plow through the resistance. Then you come out the other side, and then you're like, I did it. I made it through the resistance. And it's like, oh, there's birds and the sunshine comes. The haze is lifted. You feel good. But then guess what? You're about to get hit with resistance again. Like there's a new resistance. It's like you're either in a crisis, you just came out of a crisis, or you're about to go into a crisis, right? So any kind of goal that we want to achieve, like in business, any kind of new thing, like if you want to add $1 million to your bottom line and you decide you're going to do it with a course, you can start selling this high ticket course, then right out of the gates, you get hit with resistance. How do I lay out the course? What's the topic? What if nobody buys it? How do I create a video? How do I create a sales video? I'm not a copywriter. Do I need to hire a copywriter? How am I going to get traffic? Like all of that is just resistance. And then you finally get it live and it's like, here comes all the haters. And they're all attacking you like zombies, right? And you gotta, get past that resistance to get to the next level. Then you get to the next level and there's a whole new crop of resistance. Not zombies, it's a dragon now you gotta defeat, right? So you gotta get your magic bazooka to kill the dragon because the dragon's now attacking. You didn't have that bazooka before. So now you beat the dragon, the resistance, you get to the next level, like Donkey Kong or something. The next level, you need like a cloak of invisibility to get past the whatever demons there to get to the next level. So there's always resistance in whatever goal that you're going to try to achieve. And if you know that ahead of time, you increase your believability factor, you get your confidence sky high, you're getting that good state of mind, you're having positive attitudes to overcome the adversities, you're very resilient to get through this stuff, thick skin, and you keep busting through the resistance to a point where nothing is going to get in your way. Like it's up to you, right?
I love that. Like I love the way you put your armor on. Like that's a great analogy too for all of what other people think of us. I personally feel it's none of our business anyhow. But for me, the resistance that I have come up against has been internal as well as haters, because I don't really care about the haters. I feel like haters aren't doers. That's right.
So, then if it's internal, right, then, that's the loudest voice because we're our worst critics. That's the loudest voice. When we speak, our ears hear it, and if we're in our own head and we're thinking that all the time, then our biggest resistance is ourselves. So we got to undo that, right, and bust through the resistance. And the way you do that is to own your friggin' mind, or your mind will own you, right? So you got to keep telling your mind to shut up, mind, and you just keep going. Because if not, the mind's getting you instead of you owning your mind. So either the mind's training you or you're training the mind, because the mind's its own thing. So it's like having a big Rottweiler, or you either train the Rottweiler or that Rottweiler is going to own you, So it's kind of the same thing. You got to train your mind. You got to own it and bust through the resistance.
Well, you are wise, having been out here for 20 years in the battle. I appreciate all of your awesome tips. Where can people find you?
Right now, you can go to ericlouviere.com, or Client Amplify is my main site. That's my main program is clientamplify.com, but that's where people can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all your truth bombs and wisdom today.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Lisa.
Thanks for joining Whole CEO with Lisa G. This episode is brought to you by my friends at Bossell. Looks like a beautiful dress watch, acts like a smartwatch, so you can go from your workout to a dinner, screen your calls, track your activity, even your sleep. Share this with your friends for a chance to win a Bossell watch.